Hello, hello, hello. Let's get this stream started. Don't really feel like commentating foil. I'm not even sure there is foil going on right now. Sometime this weekend there's foil. Anyway. On Twitch, your chat stays permanently. So it's great. You can just keep it saved on the chat window. On YouTube, unfortunately, it's a little bit more complicated, and every time there's a oh wow, we got people here already. Hello, T-Powered Robot. Those are foils in the background. Not to judge you, but they've actually been there as long as I've been streaming, so I know what you've been looking at. There we go. They are foils. You are not exactly converting me to right away. You are, you know, try anything once kind of a deal. I have fenced foil in the past. It triggers my Epe brain really badly to be. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot I had that new setup. It triggers in my Epe brain something bad. To have to get as close as I need to get in foil. And then on top of it, I keep hitting the shoulder and then not getting a point for it, and it's very frustrating. So that's why I don't like foil very much. But I do have a couple of foils. I have a foil mask that is a size too small that I've never used, and I've now lugged it into 15, 20, 30 different apartments, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I would give it off to somebody if I knew anybody who could use it. I would, I don't know, a bit too good to trash, a bit too worthless to keep. The first part of this stream is going to be figuring out where we were last in the Sicard series, and then we'll move on from there. Alright, real quick, swing and a miss here. Okay, I don't know why there's like a huge section that's... Oh, I know why there's a huge section. Okay. I have this zoomed in a little bit so I can go full screen for you guys and not go full screen for me. Because VSync. The fuck does the V stand for? Vertical sync doesn't quite work yet on my combination of software. 11 to 15 looks like the last one. So I think we got 10 more to do. I'm going to go through probably all 10 today. And then see what happens from there. 26 feet lessons. A compilation of all of them that's somehow 10 minutes long. All right. Let's get this started. If you're here, we'd love to have you say hi. If you're not here, you should be here. So I have been able to get this full screen actually. Pause that while I once again set things up. There we go. Let's see if this works. Great. All right. So the first part of this lesson, as always, is showing it used in about, and that's feint 1, 2. So this is simple attack here. Fencer here is Ariane Malo. Are we going high-low here, do we think? As a continuation of it. Looks like it's 2-tempo high-low. 1, 2. Not even 2-tempo. It's what's happening here is she's going in high and then finishing low, but it's part of the same attack. Chat is blocking the action. Okay, it's good to know. And then we'll go like no. Let me just drag it down straight. No, okay. One of these days I gotta get like a real setup here. Good enough. Alright, so it's attack high, and then you keep their attention high, and then it doesn't matter what they do, 6, counterattack, disengage, whatever, but wherever they're doing, they're responding to something high action, and you go low. So she misses here. She's way at a distance. And then, but a really good continuation forward. I can't even see what they're doing here. Am I missing quality? No, that's all we got, 720. My coach loves doing that to me. You're totally thinking attack, then he'll just yellow flush at you, and you gotta be ready for a parry. And I'm getting better at it. Yeah. The initial extension is to the hand, and then he just drops straight, just without, as it continues the lunge. It's on the step forward, but there he's too far out of distance. But he's close enough there, he's far enough away at that point. The lunge has gotten his opponent far enough away. Not that time, but the one before where he had time to take the parry. And most of these, you really want to be doing it on your opponent's step forward. This is why, no, we're going back to that. Unrelated. This is why 2 is bad. Because look how much the coach has to cover to parry 2. When if he just dropped his tip in 8, it would be so much better. Yeah, it's high-low. But it's a little bit low just as a continuation of it to the thigh. I love doing this to people. In my case, it's because I have a tendency to drop my hand and therefore attack low target. But it still works really well to feint at the hand and then go to the thigh. It's not much farther. But it's like your opponent's default parries are always high line. Nobody has a panic 8. So now it's a 1-2 as a technical exercise to be able to hit the hand, which matters more just as a technique issue. But if you want your opponent to react to your hand shot, it's very good to be able to actually show them that you can hit the hand. And what I have a lot of trouble with that makes this really good is that if you go to the hand and you go too deep, your point will get stuck on the hand and you can't continue to the leg. So if you're, it's just a good drill to practice hand shots. Any continuation will show you if you have issues with your hand shot. And then about the continuation, is that usually going to be a shot to the arm like that, a shot to the leg like that, but it might be a parry, it might be a disengage, it might be whatever. And all of those are only possible if you don't overcommit to the hand shot. Coach steps forward. She hits. Now we see it in real life once more. Ana Maria Branza, I remember her. I think she's the one, definitely Romania, when they won Rio teams, they won it off a jump back flick. Opponent went to the leg and then jumped right over it. Yeah, he goes in high to draw the attention. It's not even really a feint because he never stops. He just goes straight. Once again, I'm out from the camera. It's not a feint disengage or feint disengage. It's a straight drop down. So it's a really good way to sort of keep 2 tempos in one. All right, lesson 17. Oh my God, Stefan. I still can't get over that splits touch. Attack on prep and attack. They're translating them. That's nice. That's new. Beat 8 to freeze. That's insane. Beat. That's so cool. This is, we're going to watch this in slow-mo. Beat, feint, hold the hand. It's less obvious in slow-mo, but it's really obvious at full speed. Hold the hand for the parry and then disengage the parry. Whereas normally you'd go beat, go. This is beat, feint, go. So it's beat, feint in one and then wait. So kind of a 2-tempo action, but he's not trying to score with it, so it's fun. I accidentally went back up page, so we're going to watch this again. Beat, boom. 1, 2. Beat straight. beat straight, beat straight. So it's building the base action here is beat attack, and then the coach will learn beat attack is coming, metaphorically, and then add in something in between, like a parry or a step back or something. Beat, go. That's such a long lunge. Even Grumie gallops going backwards a little bit. Even Grumie hits a little bit. That's actually really interesting because Grumie is not super clean here. He's galloping backwards. He's dropping his hand on the recovery. He's late there. He's finished his extension before his tip has come back up. But, you know, he's Grumie, so it's fine. Yeah, so it's beat. Coach takes a big 2. Grumie has to respond to it in time. Coach goes back with the 6. Grumie disengages. Coach goes back with the 6. Grumie disengages. This is the buildup I was talking about. It starts with beat attack. Now it's beat 6, beat 4. Not beat coach takes 4, beat coach takes 6. Yeah. It's really crucial here, this moment. Here. You know, frame or 2 either way. Grumie is looking at the coach and deciding whether or not to disengage. There's an extra half tempo there. 1, 2. Or the other one was 1, 2. According to the distance, attack with a lunge in preparation or attack with a step lunge. With a feint, I don't, fente. Let's see. Yeah. It's kind of the idea I was saying before, but they're framing it as a distance change, not a coach tempo change. It's either direct beat lunge or it's beat step lunge with a disengage is what I missed before. Okay. Simple beat. That's so clean. 1, 2 to the hand now. That's insane. It's so fast. Beat, hand, beat, go. That's a high level drill. I've never even seen that before. All right, so if coach comes in with his arm back, it's extension. If coach comes in, arm forward, it's a beat attack. If coach comes in, nothing, it doesn't do anything, it's straight attack, beat attack. Go low. Disengage his hand, beat foot, hand underneath. Oh, I didn't realize he hit that. Take 6, up high. One of the things my latest coach has been working with a lot is that 6s don't need to go sideways because you're either in opposition already going forward or you're going back with it. And so you only really need to protect your hand. If you have your elbow tucked in properly, you just lift your tip up. Now your whole body is already cut off. And as they come in, they just run onto your bell and off to the side. And then you're already in line for any kind of counterattack that you want to do. Weird slappy shit just to keep him on his toes. beat hand, wrist. Hand, disengage around, full force going forward. One of the things that's less obvious here is how smoothly he's transitioning from preparatory footsteps to a final commitment lunge. That he's just that one instant he's beating when his foot is up, he's deciding whether or not he's going to lunge or not. This is phenomenal timing here. As probably Imre steps forward. Grumier beats hard. This is what FA 2.0 Harmerberg called a destructive action. This beat here. Because it's just, Imre has a plan here, and Grumier is just completely destroying it. He steps forward doing something, and bam. And now all of a sudden he's in two, and he doesn't want to be in two. He doesn't know how he got there. And Grumier is going high. Yeah, see, it's beat. And it's exactly the same beat as he did before when he was going straight. But now he's smoothly switching it into a step lunge instead of a straight lunge. Really high level of footwork. Maybe that wasn't Grumier. It wasn't Imre. Thanks to the participation of Gauthier Grumier. And I'll dress as like a massive hipster. I guess that's the French for you. I wonder what Michel Sicard is up to today. Or not today, but nowadays. Hello? Foot touch. Possibly with a high-low. So it's pushed to get him going backwards a little bit. And then, so the principle here is that the foot is the last thing to move when your opponent goes backwards. So if you get him going backwards, not far enough, and you're very fast, you can do the feint to get them going backwards, and then drop down and hit the foot for free. Because if you miss, they're going backwards. And if you hit, this happens. So a really, really good action here. Swag and safe. And if you can get your opponent feeling unsafe going backwards, it's such a big advantage in the bout. Pardon me. And then of course, if you don't immediately instinctively recover, but you just be ready, your next action is your opponent coming at you from out of distance, and then you can parry. And then foot feint into parry is so great because it's one of the big ways people overcommit is trying to punish a failed foot touch. So you go to the foot and then just punish your opponent's actions. It works out really well. This is an interesting one. Situationally less complex than the others, because it's less dependent on what your opponent is doing. You can set this up at any time because you're not trying to get a big reaction from your opponent. You're just trying to get a retreat, and your opponent will retreat any time. Now, it's not hard to get your opponent to retreat. And once they're retreating, it doesn't matter what they're doing with the blade or anything, because they're not going to hit you. Let's talk about hitting the foot on the lunge. This camera movement's messing me up. When you're going for the foot, you still go forward, you just drop your tip. So you still lunge forward. A lot of people will try to lean over or lean over like this to get the foot, or drop their whole arm to get the foot. It's still forward and then down, a lot less than you would think. Like that, he's still going forward. This is actually a really, really good demonstration. He's later with a hand than I would like, but I guess that's to save from a counterattack. So it's just forward and down. It's just forward and then tip down at the end. And if you're not sure where to aim, their hand is usually, well, number one, in line with their leg, but usually in line with their bell at their hand, their foot. Their foot is usually in line with the bell. So you aim for the bell and then go down and you'll be safe. Not safe. Aim for the bell and then go down and you'll be right, be on target. As always, keep your torso relatively upright, your foot out in front of you when you lunge, and then you'll be set for anything else too. Whereas if you fall over trying to hit the foot, you're just totally screwed if you miss. Like here, it's high, 8 low, and then he's right back up again. And so if you remember, we talked before about 6 just kind of being forward. 8's the same idea, just going down. You just drop your tip and then you have them in 8. And between the combination of your extension and the fact that you're in a good on guard, they're never going to be able to hit you. And so opposition 6 and 8 are really easy because you can just extend through their line, through their epee, and hit them. So this is the second variation. He goes low, parks out of distance, overcommits to the counterattack, hits Bardenet. He's got something. A duck. We're gonna learn how to duck now. It's gonna be great. If you go full high line, this is what you do. My last 2 coaches ago, I guess my last coach before this one. Yes, quack. Hey TPR, you want to buy a duck? My last coach before this one came in with his hand about here all the time. And then we're doing all these drills, pairs around this. And then I was like, but what if they come up with their hand up here and then I can't get a 6 in or anything? I was like, if they do that, just duck them. Because they're so high, they're never going to be able to hit you down low. I don't know how true it is because I'm not athletic enough anymore to do that. But that's the basic idea of why this works. Just pop in a squat. You just go steal one from the lake. Just don't go play poker with them. What do you got? Feint. And then I guess this is sort of the opposite of the last one in that you need your opponent to do something really precise. You have to have a good read on your opponent to get this one, I think. I think this one is you sort of fake forward momentum and then you burn it by squatting into it and turn it into vertical momentum. Like that little jump forward is probably really important for this. Because you're like coming in with your arm back, drawing the counterattack, and then ducking underneath it. Oh my god, he's got him doing it on a balance beam. This is hardcore. I don't know how much I like this. So I'm not going to say how much I like this, because these guys know a lot better than me. But I was always assuming that your heel should be in line with your front foot, not your toes. And here he's clearly got his toe in line. Kind of makes sense if you think that you want to be on your toes anyway. But, pool noodle. That's what that is. It's a pool noodle. God, that was bothering me. I want to see these again because they're so cool. So it's boom. Oh, he's explaining it. I wonder if this works better lefty-righty. Because both this one and the park one, it looks like they're missing off the back shoulder. I wonder if it works worse lefty-righty because I have more time to get the tip on. Much to consider. That was fun. That was so wild. It's like we're just going to duck on a balance beam. What was that? That was duck on a balance beam. So like a small step forward as an invitation to draw the counterattack. And if you know it's coming, you just duck under it, which is wild. All right, 20. Yeah. I don't blame you. Your knees hurt. That's pizza on the left. Are we doing coupes? Working and having the strength to do that, though, great. Hit them with a duck once and they'll never forget you. Could lose 15-5, but if you hit them with the duck, with the coolest on the strip. Is this coupe? This looks like straight disengage. Attack and prep. Coach is taking 2. That's kind of what I mean, is a straight attack through their blade will get opposition enough to hit them if you're strong and good at it. What do I got? I'm still not sure what we're doing here. Looks like strong attack and prep. If you can get the timing and your opponent coming forward with their arm back, you can hit them. So this would be the setup for the last action, the duck. Is with an optional disengage in between. That's a good one to think about here in terms of general lesson taking, is that this is an opportunity for her to hit right here, and she doesn't take it, and it's fine. You don't need to hit every opportunity in a lesson or on the strip. When you're ready for it, is a much better option. So big panic parry, but she holds her line and manages to hit anyway. My coach does this drill with me occasionally, although not at this high of a level, and it's so hard. Because if you're late, you have to go in as soon as you see them commit forward. And I do mean as soon, like the instant their body goes forward. Otherwise, you're going to eat a parry or be late, or at best it'll be a double. How is the audio balance, if anybody's still watching? That was high level. Double disengage while lunging. So yeah, this is the setup, and then learning to deal with the last one, the duck. Is if you're good enough with your extension and early enough, you can adjust to the duck and hit them on the shoulder. Or get a back flick. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, she was late there and then bit on something she wasn't supposed to and got her blade destroyed. So practicing straight counterattacks against your opponent coming forward with various oppositions. And hitting, ideally, the arm, I guess. And then hand into body. I'd just like to point out that most of the time Sicard is working with lefties, which I think just means we're objectively better. Yeah. So one to the hand, and the same thing we said, I guess half an hour ago now, that if you're going to the hand and then going somewhere else, it's vitally important to not overcommit to the hand. Coach back. Yeah, so as soon as the coach is going forward, she's committing to it. So slightly different variation there. She's setting up the action by a false retreat. Not far back enough. Yeah, so it's retreat. And that gets her opponent to commit. And so Malo is not quite doing a straight attack and prep, but she's doing an opposition attack, where she's picking up her opponent blade on the way. And it's the same attack as we said before, because it's when you're doing anything in 6 or 8, you just go straight through it and it'll happen. All right. That was 16 to 20. That's the next set of 5. Thanks to you all for watching. And we're going to the next 5, 6. But I'm going to break these into 2 videos, and that's why I split it up there. Defend with the distance. So it's counter flesh. I love counter fleshes. Casado goes low. I don't know who that is, gets out of the way. And then, so we did foot touches before, which is the effective version of this, where Casado feints, French guy goes backwards, Casado goes low, but he's late. And so he's late and he's a little bit overcommitted because he's late. I should do another intro front. I split it into 2. That's so smart. Okay, forget this ever happened. Okay, hello. Welcome to the final part of the series on Michel Sicard's épée lessons. Highest level lessons in the world. So good, so smart, unexplained. And so that's why I'm here. And let's get started with lesson 21. Why am I not seeing all the chat? I haven't had the chat on screen this whole time. Wow, I had the wrong chat window up. All right, well, better now. I really thought I switched that. All right. Defending with a distance, best kind of defense, because you can do whatever with your blade while you're defending with your feet. And it doesn't matter how good your opponent's blade is if you get out of the way. So this is what we talked about before. Casado is going low into the French guy's step back, trying to get a foot touch. And in theory, we said this was safe because you're able to come up afterwards and get a parry, whatever. But Casado is both late and overcommitted, and that opens the door for a counter flush. And because he's not, and because also he's not taking a parry, doing anything with his blade, he's able to extend into a good counter flush. So that's why defense is so important. This is interesting. There's a good drill for teaching good extensions on flushes. That's such a clean flush. And notice there's no load up, it's just as soon as he finds the moment to go, he pulls his foot out as part of the moment to go. Maybe that must be Jorant there if he's showing him in the lesson too. All right, another defense variation. So there he's going low. Pito is coming forward trying to hit the hand. It's interesting because he looks late on the extension here. A little bit. First one he did, maybe not anymore. Thumpa, 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 thumpa. Okay, so it's defending with like a boom parry into a coupe. Pizzo's overcommitting to the hand. And there's a little bit of blade work here. It's not just defending with the feet, but it's the coupe and then through on the counter flush. Oh, he's embarrassing his own student here. To the hand. No, this is precise distance sense. Because he's actually in range of being hit. Megumi is chasing the hand too much. And the hand's very far back and that leaves his foot wide open. I have this problem, I do this a lot. One of the things they taught me back in the beginnings of my fencing career was that you should hand out first, in last. And, you know, there's variations on that now, but this is one of the reasons why you should do that. Because when a hand goes back, you can't do anything and your opponent can just hit you. Rumi knows he messed up there. B. Oh, I might just miss there, actually. I don't know. Yeah, so just looking for the timing here. If the opponent beats and looks for a reaction, you don't give it to them, they're caught in the middle. Beat, big beat.
Make it more of a surprise to the world number one.
So one of the reasons you don't do big beats are just little glances off the blade to get a freeze for a moment. It's too easy to overcommit to a big beat and your opponent can recover as fast as you, if not faster. So this is counterattack to the hand on the way back. This is a French gripper's bread and butter. Is you draw your opponent to a lunge and then you hit them on the way in, but you're back far enough that they can't hit you. They commit the body, you're uncommitted, so you can hit hand for free. But make sure you keep your feet under you and continue going backwards, because it's a little bit of a lower percentage shot and there's no reason to overcommit to it anyway. Pizzo. This is the same thing, but with your opponent beat. This is, of course, Yannick Borel. I think this one's about not overcommitting to the counter. You want to be able to go counter and do something else afterwards. Like, go back more. That one's a little bit sloppier because it's in bout, but it's still really good. Duck forward. This is the same duck we had before. It's the same touch. This is the same balance beam we had before. Where are we going with this? This is the same pool noodle we had before. God, that'd be so embarrassing to get bunked in the face with that. Can't believe Sicard is on the balance beam too. That's crazy. So this one's a little bit different in that the person who scores, who's the student in the lesson, is the more active participant in starting the sequence, because it's his feint forward that draws it in, whereas the others are more what to do in response if you have distance control. Attack on prep and attack. Okay. So this looks like straight feint disengage, or even attack remise. Now we have beat attack. The difference between feint disengage and attack remise, of course, is whether you're meant to hit the first action. This looks like another destructive beat we talked about, I think, in the last episode, where you're just trying to disrupt your opponent's action instead of creating one of your own, or freezing them. Looks more like a freezing sort of one. So it's you're in strong and you beat to prevent your opponent from getting an easy parry, and then you keep going, and then any action they have to do, if they can get it out in time, is going to be bigger, because they also have to deal with the extra energy you gave them from the beat, and then you can work with that. Step beat, flesh, and look how early he hits in the flesh. So it's a beat, and he misses the beat, and then he switches into opposition 8. And notice two things here. This is the same thing we talked about before. Opposition 8 is just straight ahead, but with your tip down. And he's actually hitting high on the body here. He's hitting about here on the coach. Here on the coach. Because it's still an 8. You're just pointed down, but you're still going high. So if you listen to the fencing coach, a one-tempo action is any action where you're only doing one thing. And a two-tempo action is any action where you're doing one thing, then another. So you would look at this and you would think this is a two-tempo action. It's beat, hit, or it's beat, disengage, hit. But it's actually not. It's two one-tempo actions. It's beat, instant decision on what to do next, and then do it. It's that break there makes it two one-tempo actions instead of a two-tempo action. And it's so crucial for modern high-level epee. That one might have been a bit too tempo, but look who messed it up. Stabbed the coach in the crotch. This is hand shot, beat, go. Or 8 go. Beat, go. Coach goes for the beat. You just disengage 8 opposition. Coach disengages the 8. You go straight. Just hit whatever target the coach tells you to. So he really gets Pavel to freeze entirely. And then Pavel stands up. Pavel Sukhov is who is on the right. Pavel stands up. Pavel is going backwards. Pavel can't do anything but a desperation counterattack. Easy touches are on. All right. 4 more. Attack and defense. What else is there? Attack. Lunge to the hand. And defense. Parry or post. Remise. Feint low, go high. Classic pizza flesh lunge combination. If you can do this and stay upright, especially as a French grip, it's so dangerous. Because any real blade pressure your opponent is giving you is now just a thing you can snipe against for pretty much free. You just hit where they're going, and then if it hits, great. If it doesn't hit, you keep going. You do something else. But at least now they have to respond to it. You see he's coming forward with blade pressure, and it's a 1 to the hand. It doesn't matter if it hits because he's still ready for 2 and 3. Oh, this time he got a little bit stood up. The trick here is to keep your knees bent and be ready. Keep active feet. See, he missed, but he was ready for the next one. See, he misses the hand shot. Coach tries to punish, but Burrell's already back in position. And then they get a little sloppy. High low, top bottom. High, high, high. Is that low, high, parry high? Low, high, up of high. Okay. High, high, low. With a feint. Feint, low, high, yep. High, low, high. Feint, low. High, low. It's kind of the same idea that we had before, where your opponent has to, like I said at the beginning of this, where I was talking about how much of a threat it is. If your opponent knows they have to respond to your hand pressure, then, so this is, you set up the hand pressure by showing them you can hit it. And then they have to respond to it now. And so, feint to the hand gets a reaction from much further away than you would normally get one. I guess maybe not normally that, but then a feint to the body would. I guess it's not really what I was saying before, but the it's another use of being able to hit this hand shot. That's a very modern 4. That sideways forward is what all the cool kids are doing nowadays. To a certain extent, right? That 6 is a 6, and it doesn't matter if you catch the blade or not, but you're going to be there anyway. See, it's the same action pretty much, whether or not you catch the blade, just up and forward. Oh look, a back flick with the French grip. Back flick with the French grip. That's the 4. Nope, that's not the 4. Okay, Remy is as he's going past. Three 24. Attack and defense.
Maybe something happened.
Take 8. Go low. Come into the twistiest forever. I think this is about failed attacks. So not overcommitting to your attack so that if it fails, you're ready to do the next kind of panic parry, but better than getting hit. I know. Your opponent's panic parry works and now you're inflating. Good extensions will also, hitting at full extension will also keep you far enough away from your opponent to do this. If you're late on the extension or you don't fully extend, which is a common problem I have, you will be too close to get any good in-footing actions. Look, it's boom, boom. And she can do this because she keeps them at full extension distance. And that also lets her pull back to keep leverage on a parry, things like that. No breaks. What Michelle is doing here is letting the action hit sometimes. So it makes his student have to fully commit to the action. Because if it doesn't, and Sicard is not doing anything, you'll know and you'll feel really dumb about it. So there it's all about Sicard is creating chaos, which he has done in all of the lessons so far, but here he's really focused on it. Wow, that's a crazy hit. I think one of the other things Sicard is doing here is telling him he doesn't have a lot of time to go. So it's another way to create chaos is to not let him set it up. So this is a better way to create chaos in a more controlled environment, as it were, is this is coach initiated. And so the student is going on the coach's cue, which means the coach can decide much easier if the touch hits or not. Sentiment du feu, which is the feel of the blade. Change of tempo means it's time to hit when coach comes forward and goes somewhere. This is fascinating. I've never seen a lesson for this situation before. That's not true. Kind of true. I've never seen a lesson like this before, but my last coach did have us drilling into infighting situations, where he would just walk forward and we'd have to keep hitting him at various angulations without moving our bodies. Like boom, 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 boom. I don't know if that came out on camera. You start like this and you go 1, 2, 3, 4 and turn around and keep pulling your arm back, trying to hit it closer and closer and closer. That's so cool. That's a cool touch. Blocked in sideways, still gets his point on sideways. Wow, we're fighting off of a flush. That's crazy. Ah, Nikishin, I miss him. It's honestly one of the reasons the meta is so close now. It's because you can't get people to parry early like this anymore because of stuff like this. So nowadays, Nikishin will hold that parry till Park gets a bit closer. Chiesa, she's been here before. Two more left. Defense, which is a very vague topic. This is the counter fletch you had before. I love counter fletches. I have a whole video dedicated to counter fletches because it's such a fun touch. Just your opponent does something and then in response you just yeet yourself at them. It's great. So that's interesting because that's actually in prep, where the difference between in prep and not in prep is whether your opponent finishes their action or not. So if you hit them while they're still going for the foot, that's in prep the way I'm using it. If you hit them, if they go for the foot and they miss and then you flush in response, that's just a more normal counterattack. That one's right on the borderline. It's that's a counterattacky kind of a flush. Not ready. He's a little bit too eager. That one's definitely attacking prep. Yeah, so that one's a lot better than the one before where he got hit. Genet is on his feet, he's balanced. And so he can, when the coach does something unexpected, he's prepared to go backwards. This is a really good counterattack example. Goes for the foot, misses, and then Giron gets the flush in. Now they're reusing clips. This is a flesh drill we had before. Not that that's bad. This is a really good drill. Teaching that hit of the hand at the end. He's blind. What are they doing? I wish I spoke any French. Is he just trying to hear how far away he is? What is going on here? Step back. He is loading his front foot a little bit on the step back ones. Start taking French and Duolingo. I'm so bad at languages. I'm doing Chinese. I'm gonna stick with Chinese because it sounds cool. The idea of learning Chinese, not Chinese itself. Tones are weird. And I need to learn Russian, at least enough to count. And then maybe we'll do French. That's such a clean flesh. Like, obviously Sicard has a phenomenal flesh. That's such a phenomenal flesh. This really illustrates one of the things I like to say, which is that your flesh time. Was he audio cueing when he was blindfolded? I think so. Based on the tone of voice, it sounded like he was talk, go, kind of a thing. I think. Anyway, this sequence here that we're watching now illustrates one of the things I like to say about fleshes and lunges and all actions, which is that you want to be fast, but the point of fast is to minimize your time between when you start the action and when you hit, which is a little bit different than what a lot of people think, which is you need to maximize your acceleration. You do want to be, all things equal, you want a faster acceleration, but minimizing that time is much more important. So that's what this drill is about. They're close, and he's just waiting for Geraint to flesh. And if Geraint winds up at all or sets his legs or gets into position to go fast, that's all time that's added to this go time to hit time. And that's extra time for Sicard to react and take a parry. So it's very, very minimal fast forward. Is Sicard coaching in a foil mask and I've just noticed it? Now we're back to our original counter flesh from the toe hit. Here Petra is going straight for the toe, hoping to go 1-2, but Geraint interrupts that with a flush. All right, last one. Here we go. Attack and defense. It's like 4 of these in a row that are attack, defense, or attack and defense. We had this sequence before. Romanian named German. We're talking about not overcommitting even on a full commitment with your arm first, so that if it misses, you have time to infight and remise. That's such a fun touch. Whoop. Not to be confused with the Shamley Watson, which is going the other way around your body, which works when you have freakishly long arms and enormous amounts of talent and swag. You need both the talent and the swag to hit a Shamley Watson. I'm a little bit underwhelmed for the last one if this is just more of the same infighting stuff. Not that it's not worth studying and learning from, but it's very... Like, I would have wanted something new to close the series off. Maybe we'll see it. Now it's just more variations on failed attack responses. He was in a saber mask earlier? Why? I didn't even notice. He's definitely in a foil mask. He's got the bib and everything. The over-the-head preem. That's really cool. My first coach taught me to do stuff like that after Flash. And then every coach after that was like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't do that. That's weird. This guy's very upright. Email and ask him. He puts his email at the end of it. I am not going to email him and ask him why he's not being more entertaining. That is just, wow, bonkers rude. This guy is almost too upright. It looks really tense. I think this is the monopentathlete guy. Yeah. This is very classic French. Miss the hand, hit the arm into preem. Sicard got 2 blades. Oh, about the masks. I mean, I could. I'll probably say, I don't know, it's just what I had there. I could send him a link to this series and be like, hey, look what I did. What do you think? And then tell me I'm wrong about everything. Which, you know, would be worth it, honestly. It's not a bad idea. I once was at a foil club. The best foil club in Pittsburgh. I don't know why it was there, but it produced a ton of A's. And there was a guy there giving lessons to 2 people at the same time with a blade in each hand. I've never seen that before or since, and I just remembered it now and how weird it sounds. But I was brand new to fencing and I thought it was normal. It was seriously, it was like one guy here, and is going like this with his blades as they took turns. I wanted to say one was left-handed, one was right-handed, so it worked out a little bit better, but I'm not sure. Preem against 4. So yeah, this is a classic thing. Preem against 6? What's this? Oh, okay. So it's 6. You knock your opponent's blade up over your head. So against a same-handed opponent, yeah, against an opposite-handed opponent. Okay. So against an opposite-handed opponent, they take 4. They're pushing your blade across your body. You switch into preem and hit. And now they're on the outside and you've got control. Um, Against a same-handed opponent, you can do the same thing, but they take 6, and you're on the outside. You switch into Preem, and now they're on the outside, and you hit. I don't know if that made sense, but hopefully you can imagine. I once fenced a guy whose entire game was 6, Preem, and hit. And then I was left-handed, and he took 6 and went into Preem, and I would take 6 and go, and he would go into Preem, but it didn't work because we're the same hand and need to be taking 4. But this is a variation where it's the same hand. They go 6, you just take your 6 up so they go over your head, and the Preem is just an infighting hit. What was that? Preem into back into 6? But why is the Preem there? 1. Miss. Okay, so it's Preem to block, and then you a receding sort of coupe-ish action to get back control, and then back into 6 to hit. Very small Preem. Six go, miss, and then hit for Jung. Wow, that was a hell of a series. I think this took like a year because I took 8 months off for a broken leg. Thank you all for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this series and the stream in general. I try to stream most Saturday nights or Sunday nights depending on how I feel. That's it